family know that Prince Harry a little off. What the hell do this pretty mixed girl from the Suits want with my crazy brother? Don't she read the papers? Well, hello there, little bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook and or Twitter, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com for today's looky, this ultimate animal print turban. And don't forget, all purchases over $40 will come with a free gift. And if you are not already a part of our book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Prince Harry's spare. The Sun ran a correction for their porn story in a tiny box on page 2 where no one would see it. What did it matter? The damage had been done. Plus, it cost Meg tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees. I rang Pa yet again. Don't read it, darling. I cut him off. I wasn't about to hear that nonsense again. Also, I wasn't a boy anymore. I tried a new argument. I reminded Pa that these were the same shoddy bastards who'd been portraying him as a clown all his life, ridiculing him for sounding the alarm about climate change. What? You mean to tell me? Hold the hell on. Baby, climate change is a concern. Okay, so whatever these ninjas is talking about, trying to minimalize it, I don't know if the earth is slipping into the equator. I don't know what is going on. But something is truly happening, and everybody needs to pay attention. I know you like, Nate, what the fuck can we do? I don't know. These were his tormentors, his bullies, and now they were tormenting and bullying his son and his son's girlfriend. Did that not inspire his outrage? Why have I got to beg you, Paul? Why is this not already a priority for you? Why is this not causing you anguish, keeping you up at night, that the press are treating Meg like this? You adore her. You told me yourself. You know, Virgos are very, very intense. They sometimes have a uncontrollable passion that is quite emotionally exhausting at times. So now, Prince Harry is going to his big brother for help, or at least advice. I gave him a quick summary of what Meg and I have been dealing with. Will he know? That nigga can read. I know he want to say, your girlfriend is doing soft porn, but for real, it's still like a mystery. There has been nothing found to say that Meghan Markle actually did it. I gave him a quick summary of what Meg and I had been dealing with. Don't worry, Harold. No one believes that shiz. Not true, they do. Then he said something extraordinary. He said he thought Mama was here, meaning among us. Yes, me too, Willie. I think she's been in my life, Harold, guiding me, setting things up for me. I think she helped me start a family, and I feel as though she's helping you now, too. I nodded. Totally agree. I feel as though she helped me find Meg. Willie took a step back. He looked concerned. That seemed to be taking things a bit far. Well now, Harold, I'm not sure about that. I wouldn't say that. Because the family know that Prince Harry a little off. What the hell do this pretty mixed girl from the Suits want with my crazy brother? Don't she read the papers? That could be part of the problem, okay? Now, the family has always been scandalous, but they're probably looking at her like, what in the fuck does Meghan Markle want with him? To be a duchess. By pure chance, the 2017 Invictus Games were going to be in Toronto. Meg's backyard, perfect occasion. The palace decided for our first official public outing. Y'all is knocking me out. You mean to tell me every time you want to take a dump, you got to go to the palace and ask, can I go take a dump? Palace? This is crazy to me. That Prince Harry has to literally say, okay, I want to show my girlfriend in public. I want to hold her fucking hand in public. Okay, you got to go to the palace and say, can I hold my girlfriend's hand? Meg was a bit nervous. Me too. But we had no choice. Has to be done, we said. We've hidden from the world long enough. Also, this would be the most controlled, predictable environment we could ever hope for. Above all, once we did a public date, it might reduce the bounty on our heads among the paparazzis. We tried to make the whole thing as normal as possible. We watched wheelchair tennis from the front row, focused on the game and the good cause, and ignored the cameras. I wanted to propose. But then Elf said he'd need to do some fast digging, find out the protocols. There were strict rules governing such things. Rules? Really? Yes, Harry. If you have to ask the palace, can you take a shit? Why you think you don't have to ask the palace, can you marry the Meghan Markle? Harry is thrown off because Elf is like, you got to ask your grandmother, can you marry Meghan Markle? Harry like, you kidding? No, ain't nobody kidding. You got to ask your granny permission to marry. It didn't make sense. A grown man asking his grandmother for permission to marry. I couldn't recall Willie asking before he proposed to Kate or my cousin Peter asking before he proposed to his wife Autumn. But come to think of it, I did remember Paul asking permission when he wanted to marry Camilla. Baby, just because you don't see it happen don't mean that it didn't happen. How you know? How you know? And who the fuck invite? What you think? Everybody got to invite you to the asking of the granny? The absurdity of a 56-year-old man asking his mother's permission had been lost on me at the time. Cloudy, blustery day. Grandmother had shit to do that day. But he had to hop in one of the vehicles to catch his grandmother before she went off to do Her Majesty shit. He hop in the car. He nervous, right? The grandmother, you know how them granny do. Hey, is that you? Hey, baby, how you doing? What's going on? How's that pretty black girl you with her? I miss you so much. I miss you, Grandma Annie. I miss you. I miss you. I miss you so much. I miss you, my sweet pie. I miss you. I miss you. Oh, my goodness, she was so southern, y'all. She ain't had nothing but a second grade education, and she made sure that her first grandbaby, her baby girl, had everything. So anyway, the grandmother is like, Harry, hello, baby. Harry over there sweating. He looking all crazy. She's slowly walking to her vehicle because she got to go somewhere. You know, that lady way too old to be going to all these different events, but it don't matter because she, Her Majesty. I realized that I needed to get to it without 1 second more of hesitation. So as Granny lowered the tailgate to jump up in the car, I turned to Granny and saw her turn to me and frown. Did she recognize that I was afraid of both the request for permission and of Her Majesty? Did she realize that no matter how much I loved her, I was often nervous in her presence, and I saw her waiting for me to speak and not waiting patiently? Yeah, because them grandmother, Her Majesty got shit to do. So she ain't got all day to be playing with you, her face radiated. Out with it. I coughed. Granny, you know I love Meg very much, and I've decided that I would like to ask her to marry me. And I've been told that I have to ask your permission before I can propose. You have to. Well, yes, that's what your staff tell me, and my staff as well, that I have to ask your permission. I stood completely still. I stared at her face, but it wasn't readable. At last she replied, well, then, I suppose I have to say yes, Harry. I'm telling you, them grandmothers be with the bullshit. My grandmother could read straight through me. One day I was messing with this dude who I'll never forget, this mean motherfucker I was messing with in college, right? And he was just so mean, but I kind of was mean back to him, not as mean as him, but I was mean back to him. What happened was this mean mother. I was getting ready to go down underground to get on the train at Van Ness campus. Mean mother. He caught me. He was like, "Hey, Nay." Like, "Oh, okay." I was talking shit to him on the phone the other day, child. He caught me. Let me tell you what he did. He snapped my gold earrings out my ears. Who the fuck you talking to? Snap, snap. Child, the little dirty bastard took my purse and just left with my purse. I ain't had no goddamn money. Luckily, I was with one of my baby mothers. I was like, "Could you give me some money to get on the train?" And then I was like, "Grandma, I need to come over the house because I need to borrow some money." And I know you're like, "Why you ain't ask your mother?" I told y'all I barely seen the bitch. When I went over there, I said, "Thank you, Grandma. I'm going to pay you back as soon as I can." It was like $60, something like that. And she looked at me and she said, "Nay, don't you be giving these little boys your money. You hear me?" I was like, "Ma, I ain't giving no little boys my money." She said, "You heard what I said. Don't you be giving these little boys your money." I was like, yikes. But I ain't give it to the nigga. He took it. I mean, I got it back later, but he was just being mean and stuff. But it was just, she knew, okay? Them grandmothers be knowing stuff. I didn't get it. Was she being sarcastic, ironic, deliberately cryptic? Was she indulging in a bit of wordplay? I'd never known Granny to do any wordplay, and this would be a surprisingly bizarre moment, not to mention wildly inconvenient. Perhaps there was some hidden meaning beneath the wordplay, some message I wasn't comprehending. Girl, you overthinking her. Granny is trying to get to her event. She don't have time for this bullshit right now. If you want to marry the bitch, then I guess I gotta say yeah. Shit. Do she know that you crazy, Harry? Shit, that's just what it is. So I sputtered, "Right. Okay, Granny. Well, fabulous. Thank you. Thank you so much." I wanted to hug her. I longed to hug her. I didn't hug her. I just saw the back of her head get small. That ain't what he said, but that's basically what the hell happened. Meg packed up her house and gave up her role in Suits before you... Hold on. Am I skipping something? I know this motherfucking girl ain't leave her house and stuff behind when she ain't even engaged to the ninja. Difficult moment for her because she loved that show, loved the character she was playing, loved her cast and crew, loved Canada. Child. She did all this. She must have knew that crazy Prince Harry was about to ask her to marry him, because it was a whole beautiful scene where they stand now in Notcott. What is that? Nottingham Cottage. Okay, she only brung one dog with her. Harry and the dog went outside, grabbed a bottle of champagne. "Come on, Megan, let's talk about this." She go out there, "Will you marry me, bitch?" "Of course I will. Why you think I gave up my job on Suits?" Ordinarily, I'd have gone to Meg's father first, asked for his blessing, but Thomas Markle was a complicated man. He and Meg's mother split when she was 2, and thereafter she divided her time between them, Monday to Friday with Mom, weekends with Dad. Then, for part of high school, she moved in with her father full-time. They were that close. After college, she traveled the world but always stayed in constant contact with Daddy. She still, even in her 30s, called him Daddy. She loved him, worried about him, his health, his habits, and often relied upon him. Throughout her run on Suits, she'd consulted him every week about lighting. He'd been a lighting director in Hollywood, won 2 Emmys. Damn, I ain't know that, Meghan Markle. In recent years, however, he hadn't been working regularly, and he'd sort of disappeared. He'd rented a small house in a Mexican border town and wasn't doing well overall. In every way, Meg felt her father would never be able to withstand the psychological pressure that comes with being stalked by the press. I turned to the palace. "Any progress on a date yet? A venue?" "Nope," was the reply. "How about March?" "Last March was all booked." "How about June?" "Sorry, Garter Day." At last they came to us with a date. May 2018. Granny formally approved the marriage in March 2018 by royal decree.
Everybody!